We are live right
Yeah.
here. Special time. It is January 11th, 2024. It feels like January is moving very fast. It just seemed like not too long ago we were getting excited about this possibility of TNA Hard to Kill coming around. And now it's here this upcoming Saturday live from the Palms Casino. Billy TKO joining us right here on the Ango Show live.
What's up, sir?
Billy, you're not an avid TNA guy.
No, but I am excited for TNA. I think all the Twitter hype has gotten me hype.
You know, it's funny for a while. I feel like I've been trying to tell you, like, dude, just try to watch it, and like you would try to watch it here and there, and like you
Yeah.
would try to get into it. And I don't necessarily think it was like you not liking TNA or Impact. I just think there's always been so much wrestling and just so much stuff
Yeah,
going on.
right.
Um, but what's funny, guys, Billy had recently gotten TNA Plus,
I
and
did. I purchased it.
he's been telling me a little bit about some of the stuff that he's been watching. And I find it cool when I see people tapping into things that they may not be as familiar with, obviously. So I'm glad that you're here with us. I think this will make for a very productive and fun conversation.
Yes, sir.
But TNA Hard to Kill live from the Palms Casino, a little bit of a bigger venue. They're starting to move even more tickets, which me and my good buddy Anthony Nukes have predicted this based on what Impact does. Typically, they sell a lot of their tickets later on, closer to the show.
Yeah.
Now they've opened up for more seats, which is fantastic. So definitely a fun thing.
Yeah, they're
That
about sold out, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was like 100 tickets left, and realistically, the way TNA works, they'll sell out.
Yeah.
And they've opened up more seats too. So the cool thing is, by opening up more seats, I think that's going to help them a little bit. What I care about is visually how it looks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was watching TNA Rebellion or Impact Wrestling
Yeah.
Rebellion
Uh-huh.
2019, and the crowd is less than 1,000 people. The crowd will be less than what this crowd will be, but the way that they've produced it and they made it looked full, and the crowd was good and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and I can imagine because I mean, for the people that aren't aware, they've shown new belts and stuff like that, and they've really presented them well. So I'm interested to see how they're going to present the show itself.
yeah, which is we know it's going to be a big change. We know it's going to be a big change. We know they're making some changes to the overall production value,
Yep.
new stage, new graphics, things like that. So I'm glad that they're doing this because I've known about a rebrand for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't see the TNA thing coming, but I knew about the rebrand for a very long time, and I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of what they need. So now I'm excited about this.
Yes, sir.
And I did want to throw this up before we go to the predictions. Billy, True Flight 11 says, I wonder what the stage is going to look like. Bring back tunnels? Question mark.
I think, seeing AEW go away from the tunnels,
It brings the opportunity for them, man.
it brings the opportunity for them, which I'm a fan of. Count me in. Count me in. Bring back the tunnels.
I don't know if any other company has done the tunnels. I feel like there has been another company that did.
TNA did them a long time ago.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm
You're
saying is, aside from TNA,
okay.
so I feel like that's always been a TNA thing. That's
Yeah.
the way I grew up, having one on one side, the other on the other side. That was my like really cool thing that I loved about TNA. Like it was just two different entrances, the heel side, the babyface side. Um, Obviously when AEW brought it in, I liked it. But
Yeah.
hopefully the stage has a little bit of homage to the TNA days. I don't know. We'll see.
That's what I'm hoping for here. I'm hoping that they do some callback stuff to the original TNA and when it first, debuted and stuff like that.
Yeah, 1,000%. So Billy, there are several matches on this card. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Which normally, if this was WWE or AEW, I'd be like, fuck.
That's a
But
lot of matches.
yes, but thankfully TNA shows, or I should say Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling shows were always very well paced.
Mm-hmm.
So this was something I always appreciated. They were very well paced and they never felt like a drag. With this, 3 of these matches are on their kickoff show, countdown show, as they brand it. And, Scott D'Amore says there's a different pace, a different feel to this new TNA. He says they're going for a little bit of a faster pace, which is even more interesting. But we'll go by the card one by one. We'll discuss it. I think it's interesting to have somebody who may not be a diehard TNA fan maybe give us insight, on what they want to see and how it
Yeah.
could maybe potentially help them even become more locked in with the product.
Yes.
This should be fun. So I want to kick things off first and foremost. Billy, Tommy Dreamer currently holds the TNA Digital Media Championship.
Which I am aware of.
Yes. And he is going up against Crazy Steve in a no DQ match on the Countdown show. And the belt is on the line. And I want to get your opinion
Okay.
because I see there's a lot of criticism for Tommy Dreamer holding the belt.
Of course.
And I think it's a little bit silly that he gets a lot of hate for holding the belt. A lot of people bring up his age. A lot of people bring up the fact that, he's
It,
his
it's not
shape and
that
stuff
deep.
like that. It's not that deep.
It's not.
It's not that deep. But I'll give you my opinion
Okay.
after you give me yours. The floor is yours, my friend.
So I mean, I know everything with Tommy Dreamer and stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, it's a TV championship. You know what I mean? It's not like he's walking around as the world champion or a world tag team champion. Like if this were a belt in like the WWE, I feel like this could be compared to something along the lines of like the hardcore championship. It's perfect for Tommy Dreamer. I get it. He is a little bit older and stuff like that, but that's like saying R-Truth is getting older. Like he is. You know what I mean? Let these guys continue doing what they love if they want to. And I get it. Tommy Dreamer's definitely been on some podcasts with some hot takes. But I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. So I'm going to say, let's keep Tommy Dreamer with the belt, dude. Maybe I'm throwing a wild guess out here, but keep Tommy Dreamer with the belt. He looked good with it.
Okay. I don't actually look. I don't hate Tommy Dreamer. I don't hate the idea of the belt being on him, right?
Yeah.
But this is a new era for TNA. You have a lot of new eyes or a lot of returning eyes to the product.
Yeah.
And I always believe, and I'm under the belief that like if you're a veteran of the business and you're carrying a belt, eventually you got to put somebody else over who can utilize it. Crazy Steve has always been a question mark to me in Impact Wrestling and now TNA.
Yeah.
Because Crazy Steve is, first of all, I love the gimmick. I love the face paint. I love the new presentation that they gave him in recent months with the new entrance and stuff.
Yeah.
It made me really intrigued by this whole thing that he's been in the company for a while, but he's never really got his big break. He never really got his big moment.
Right. Okay.
This is a no DQ match. I want them to do something so unheard of here. And I think we will. I think we will get something very special in this match. And I think it leads to Tommy Dreamer dropping the belt. I think this is going to be, I think the reason why this is on the kickoff show, which I love, by the way, let me just point this out. I love the fact that with this kickoff show, they've decided to put 3 quality matches and some quality
Yes.
guys that
Yes.
these guys like Steve Macklin, Rich Swann, main event level guys in
Right.
TNA.
Right.
Eric Young,
Yeah.
Kazarian, Eddie Edwards. Like there's some
I
great
love
names.
that. I love that idea
This
of
countdown
having those
show,
yeah.
it's going to help. The idea is to get people to buy the pay-per-view and get your eyes set on the product. I think Crazy Steve winning in a very fascinating way. This is no DQ. I don't care what anybody says. Tommy Dreamer he'll take the bumps. He'll go crazy in this match. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I think you give it to Crazy Steve and
Okay.
you allow them to really show people, hey, this new era of TNA, we are going to, put other people out there and we're going to give people a chance to grow and shine and look good,
Right.
and that type of thing. And I think for Crazy Steve, he could actually benefit from it. And I think, I think Crazy Steve's my pick. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
What's interesting is James Mitchell has kind of floated around in TNA, Impact, and NWA. I don't
Mhm.
know with Crazy Steve's character. I don't know if maybe they want to do a faction. I don't know if they want to have someone be his mouthpiece or something like
TNA,
that.
I feel like can utilize factions really well. I think
But
they could go ahead.
they just don't do it enough.
Exactly. That's my whole thing here is if they want to, I feel like they can and they'd utilize it well, but they just don't do it enough.
We'll see how that goes. It's a very interesting. There's a lot of interesting ways they could go about it, which I think is what's
100%.
shocking to me is that there is a lot of ways they can do it.
Absolutely.
So my pick is Crazy Steve.
I'm
Billy
going
says
with
Tommy
Dreamer.
Dreamer. I
Yep.
love it. I love it.
Going with Dream.
We'll have to circle back after the stream and just see how many we got right and wrong.
Absolutely.
The next match on the countdown show is Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, aka Kurt Hawkins, versus Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. Which this is so strange to me because I think Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian are. Let me make it really clear. All four of these guys can still go, and they're all very good veterans, right?
Yes.
It's shocking to me to see that they're involved in a countdown tag team match. They're not involved in a championship match or nothing for the X division or,
Yeah.
digital media championship. Like, I think that could be a really cool thing too, is the digital media championship. It's like their TV championship. It's
Yeah.
whatever. But for me, it's like, man, what if you start attaching stipulations to that belt and kind of lean into the hardcore?
That was my whole thought process with it when I had
Yeah.
originally talked about it. It reminds me of like a hardcore championship to where you could do something along those lines with that belt.
If it had stipulations attached to it every match, I think it could be fun because then I would look at Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, all these guys could be. This new belt is so sexy and it looks like a real championship belt where
Yeah.
you have to let people take it serious and you
Right.
have to put some credibility behind it.
I
So
think
like,
TNA is about to do that with all their belts, though, is they're all about to be taken very, very serious.
So the good thing is in the last few years they have. However, there's been moments of like, oh, the tag team division maybe is kind of slipping up. And then they rebound with subculture and the Rascals and like all of these different things. So
Right.
it's never a big problem, but the digital media championship was the one. So when I look at this tag team match, I'm thinking, all right, who is somebody that could legitimately be a good challenger and a fun challenger for Crazy Steve? And I look at Eddie Edwards. I look at Eric Young. I look at these guys. I think even, honestly, Frankie Kazarian, I think he's going to end up winning the world championship at some point in
Now,
2024.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with Frankie? And I know this is kind of off topic, but Frankie Kazarian in AEW, I can't recall.
Yeah. He wanted to be out. He wanted to go to
Oh,
TNA.
so he ended up just leaving?
Yeah. I don't know if he asked for his release or if he didn't resign, but he wasn't happy with the vision of where he was in AEW. And
Okay.
he dipped
Yeah,
out, and it was the best thing for him
absolutely.
because he went to TNA, he went to Impact, and he was doing some great stuff there. And I think he'll get rewarded for that, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. My friends, this is a fun prediction for me. I think Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian win the match, and then I think we get a very, very, very crazy turn of events post match. And I will kind of leave it at that.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the same. I think for TNA, the brand,
Mhm.
I think having Frankie and Eric Young win is definitely something useful for them. Now, what are the crazy events that you think are gonna happen?
We'll get to that later.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. We'll wait. We'll wait. If we have to wait, fine, Ango. We'll wait.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Steve Macklin versus Rich Swann is happening on the Countdown show.
Mm-hmm.
Two of my favorites. Rich Swann, an absolute beast in the ring.
Amazing everywhere he's gone.
He is going to make this pre-show feel electric. He is so hype. He's got the character stuff down.
Nice guy too.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Steve Macklin, who is the opposite of Rich Swann. He is the intimidating asshole, piece of shit, big man that could beat the hell out of you. And I think what's really awesome about this too is Steve Macklin, in my opinion, is world championship kind of guy. He won the world
Yeah.
title. And we'll talk about how I would build the world title scene in just a little bit. But
Okay.
this is actually really hard. These are two former world champions.
Yep.
And two different styles. And this is going to be extremely fun to watch. I'm going to pick Rich Swann.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and I stick with the same. I think Rich Swann's the guy to end the show, right? To end the like, hey, if you're gonna buy the pay-per-view, you just watch this, buy it. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. And I don't know. I've seen some people in the chat. Two things I want to say. I'm seeing super chats come in. I'll get to those in a minute. I promise. I just want to transition from countdown show to the post show or the main show. But I seen some people say, man, it kind of looks like Steve Macklin's having a fall from grace. And you know, he was just there in AEW supporting his wife, Deonna Purrazzo, which is fantastic.
Yep.
I don't know his situation. I don't know if he has plans to stay in TNA. I don't know if his contract's up. I don't know if he's becoming a free agent. I don't know any of that. I honestly don't know. There's nothing I've been told. I love Steve Macklin. Me and my good friend Anthony Nukes, we literally talk about how he is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And people are so shocked when we say that. And then I literally get DMs later on and being like, I kind of see it. He doesn't look like Stone Cold.
No,
He's
no.
not bald like Stone
But
Cold.
maybe carries a lot of the attributes of Stone Cold.
Yes, like there's elements to him where it's like, oh shit, he kind of reminds me of Stone Cold. So we joke around and call him Stone Cold Steve Macklin. And we think he's the shit, bro. We think he's awesome. And he plays up to his character stuff very well. He's a very intimidating human being on television. And I think that's going to actually contrast Rich Swann very well.
He's a very big buff dude.
He's strong. He's great character. He's a beast in the ring. To me, he still has that old school mentality a little bit, the way he comes across on TV. I am super excited for this match, but if Steve Macklin is leaving TNA, if he ain't going forward with the company, Steve Macklin's losing. If TNA has plans for Steve Macklin, he can still lose this match, but he has to make a massive impact, no pun intended, at the end of TNA Hard to Kill. And this is where it gets a little interesting because we don't know his situation.
Right.
But if you have plans for Steve Macklin, you can have him move forward beating Rich Swann. These are two of my favorites in the company, so having to pick one always sucks. But I think Rich Swann sets the tone for how exciting it's going to be. The good thing is both guys are really good wrestlers, and I don't think Rich Swann and Steve Macklin will ever get the credit they deserve from the IWC. So this is one of those things where it's like,
I mean, up until recently, I'll be blunt and transparent here. Up until recently, I had no idea who Steve Macklin was, to be honest with you.
You know, it's so funny. This goes to show you how great this guy completely transitioned his character. He was Steve Cutler in WWE.
Okay.
So when people don't know this, but when I watch NXT and I see Steve Cutler in NXT and he's been there for a while and I see this guy has long hair and like he's got a certain look and dominance, but he's not really given a chance. Then he goes up to the main roster eventually with Wesley Blake and Baron Corbin or whatever. And I see this and I'm like, there is something very interesting here. This guy's really good. I could see the tag team stuff working. And then that never really gets off the ground. It wasn't with Baron Corbin. I think it was with Jackson Riker is what I meant to say.
It was Jackson Riker. Oh my
yeah. Word. But and then actually I think they did try to do something with Baron Corbin or something. Bro, hold on. Now hold on.
Was it on the main roster?
They tried, I think, after yes, they did. They did with Baron Corbin. That's what it was. After the Jackson Riker thing, when Jackson Riker got canceled, Baron Corbin brought Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake back. That's when they shaved their heads and more facial hair.
Yes. Okay.
Now, I do remember this, and I will say, I always believe this guy's abilities. I thought this guy was great. When he came to TNA Impact, he showed me exactly why he's a world champion kind of guy. He won the world championship. He's a top guy in my opinion, and I do not want to see him go to AEW or WWE just to be another guy. And the reality is, unfortunately, with the way AEW and WWE book, this is one of those things where it's like, I know more money and whatever possibilities. I get that. And now obviously his wife works in AEW, but I really want to see them push this guy to the top of the card. And we'll talk a little bit about that once we get to the world championship match.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, my pick, I guess it's really Rich Swann. Yeah. But
there's a little asterisk over that.
There is an asterisk on this one.
Okay.
And you said Rich Swann too, right?
Yes, I do agree. Rich Swann.
Okay, cool. Before we get to the main card, guys, just a quick reminder, if you want to support the channel, we are doing a live simulcast on my channel and Billy's channel. So feel free to subscribe to both channels if you're not, or you could drop a super chat as well. I like the stream layout a lot more than our other ones, buddy. I
Yeah,
know that's
so do
random.
I. No, so do I. I love it. I love the way it looks. Feels
And
good.
yeah, we did get a super chat from Jana, 4.99. I don't think this will happen, but do you think they could pull off a gold strap KO tag title belt to counter the red straps and keep it TNA colors? This is super funny because I think today is the reveal for the women's knockout
Yes.
tag titles.
Yes, it is. It probably no, we have like another 30 minutes or something like that before it drops because they're on 1 o'clock every
Yeah,
day, right? Yeah.
yeah. I think it's cool. I'm with it. I don't like
Yeah.
colored straps, but the way their belts have been looking this week,
I don't know, man. I'm actually a really big fan of wasn't there one, I can't remember, but one was it the tag team titles? They were red, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Loved them. Loved them. And dude, just the way the red and yellow hit on like the world championship,
yeah.
gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I'm shocked, bro. I swear. It's so shocking. I don't think people understand how shocked I genuinely am, but it makes me happy because I'm
I
a
hope
huge
I hope people could see the pure excitement in you for TNA.
oh, dude, they have no idea. It's like what I was telling you and Omer on the live stream yesterday, though. Like this was my come up.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like
It's
back
everything.
then when YouTube wasn't even a thing and I started making videos, like I was talking about TNA, bro. I wasn't talking about Vince McMahon and WWE.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just funny. But yeah, I think if they go with a gold strap, that could be kind of fun. We'll see. The chat is correcting me though. They're saying today is the TNA Knockouts Championship belt.
Championship.
Woo!
Oh.
Even better, even better.
Because the regular world championship, that had a black strap though, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But the logo in the middle just looks beautiful.
So I predicted white strap for the Knockouts main
Women.
championship, like the
Okay.
women's, like Knockouts women's world championship and the
Yeah.
tag titles. But the yellowish gold strap could work. It could work. It could
Yeah.
work. I ain't gonna lie.
It could, dude. It
It could
could.
definitely work. All right, cool. So thank you, Jonna, for the super chat. Let's get over to the main card. Main card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches on the card. A night filled with tons and tons and tons of surprises. So that is very exciting. We're gonna talk about the surprises as well. We're gonna get to it. But Billy,
Bring
the
it on.
first match, we're just gonna go from bottom to the top.
Yep, let's do it.
PCO versus Dirty Dango.
Yeah. Love me some Dirty Dango.
I get so upset. Why is this on the main card and why is Rich Swann and Steve Macklin on the,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a business decision and I'm
Right.
sure there's a lot of reasons for it. But I love PCO. I love Dirty Dango. I like both of these guys. They should not be on the main card for me. But
Do you think it's the match that actually because this is just in the order that we're seeing it. Do you think this
yes.
is the actual match that kicks it off?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No.
If they're smart, they lead in with the TNA X Division Championship match.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the men's tag team championship match.
Okay.
Or I could see them doing the women's Ultimate X. But you want to kick things off with a big bang, and I don't think this
you want
match
something to be really hot.
This to me, unfortunately, and I hate saying this without sounding like a negative thing, but I think it's kind of like a cool down match, which is funny because it'll probably be a fun match to watch and a good match to watch.
Absolutely.
But looking at the rest of the card, this is definitely not the match I would lead with. I would not put this on the main card, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but like I look at Steve Macklin and Rich Swann as two former world champions, and they're on the countdown show.
Right.
And I get it. Like maybe people will watch that. They'll see the new stage. They'll see these guys go
I was
hard.
about to say, I think that's more of a business thing. Like
It's more of a business thing. But in terms of overall card value, I don't know if I would go with PCO and Dirty Dango. But nonetheless, PCO versus Dirty Dango. I don't know. Dirty Dango just re-signed with the company, so I could see them actually re-signing or keeping Dirty Dango. PCO recently re-signed with the company, so both of these guys are going to be here for a minute.
Sticking around.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm usually the one who says like, "Oh, put somebody over." PCO should win.
Oh, see, I disagree. I think Dirty Dango should win. I
That's your
do.
pick.
Yeah, that's my pick. I think he should win. Like you said, normally you'd put somebody over. I think put him over. You know what I mean? Kind of like Chris
Yeah.
Jericho did at WrestleMania, what, 28 or something like that, 29.
Oh, when he put over Fandango.
Yeah.
Hey, they sold me on that. I don't care what anybody says. They sold me on Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango, aka Dirty Dango. They sold me on him. That leg drop from the top and the way he came out and the
Yeah.
dance and yeah, this guy, I like Dirty Dango. I don't like the name Dirty Dango, but it's whatever. But PCO is just one of those guys, man. He's so awesome to watch in 2024. And look, Dirty Dango is getting a push, obviously, and
Yeah.
PCO is just re-signed with the company. It's so hard to predict TNA Hard to Kill, Billy, when you watch Impact and realize that they're changing their approach to
Everything.
things.
Yeah, everything's about to change. We're
So
sitting here calling it a pay-per-view. It's a premium live event.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Premium live event.
Yeah.
But it is funny to me because it's like, I don't know. They have a different initiative this time around with their pay-per-views and their shows.
You
So
can tell they want to get it right. They want to get it right really bad, and I think that's what's driving me to watch this show.
yeah. It's gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be so
It is.
fun.
It is, dude. It is.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So I pick PCO.
Going with Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango. I think it's going to be fun, but hopefully it's not the
Absolutely.
first match on the card. That's not the way I would
Right.
open up.
No.
Nonetheless, we'll keep it moving. Tasha Steelz versus Alicia Edwards versus Giselle Shaw versus Jody Threat versus Zaya Brookside versus Danny Luna and the Knockouts Ultimate X match. This is the second one in company history. And I'm just gonna keep this very simple with my prediction, and then Billy, I'll let you share the floor, and then I have some opinions. But my pick to win the match, Tasha Steelz.
Okay.
And then before I break down why and stuff like that, I'm curious to hear from you.
So again, I'm gonna be transparent here. I don't know many of the women in this match, if I'm being honest. I know Giselle Shaw, who I've heard a lot about actually. So I think that's gonna be my pick. Obviously, I know there's a lot more that can happen here, and like Ango said, he had his, but really, I haven't done much of a deep dive besides the big main event caliber stuff in
Yeah.
TNA with diving into it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Giselle Shaw here, just strictly off of who I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and what I've seen.
Yeah. Totally fair. And I
Yeah.
appreciate the honesty here. And I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
there's anything wrong with Giselle Shaw being picked here. I don't think there's anything wrong with Jody Threat being picked. She's
Okay.
I seen her live in person in Canada when I went. She's a great talent. Zaya Brookside coming from WWE. Danny Luna is part of Subculture, but both of them came from WWE NXT UK.
Okay.
Don't know. I know Danny Luna just signed with the company. So this wouldn't be a bad idea to put someone brand new in front of the knockouts division, right? Like, hey,
Right.
this is someone who's new. We take her serious. We just signed her. We're going to allow her to have a good showing and win, right?
Yeah.
But the interesting thing here about this match is it's the second one in history. And Tasha Steelz is someone to me who I don't know if I'm going to call her, a top star like Mercedes Moné or Charlotte or Bailey or anything like that. I don't know if that's fair,
Okay.
but she's a hell of a talent. And I think there's a lot more potential with her in TNA. And
So you
so,
think she could actually ride high off the win here?
yes,
Okay.
I think this could be one of those moments where it's like, hey, she did it once before. Now she did it again. Take her serious.
Right.
We're
This is
putting her in front
somebody.
of you.
Right.
We're
This is
pushing her.
somebody you're gonna have to look at. Okay. All right.
What I like about this, though, Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steelz, Danny Luna, Zaya Brookside, and Jody Threat are all names who I feel could lead the Knockouts division with Deonna Purrazzo gone
Yeah.
and without them not getting Mercedes and potentially losing Trinity Fatu.
Right.
Alicia Edwards is Eddie Edwards' wife.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She is fun to watch when she wrestles, but I don't think TNA wants to push her as the star of the TNA knockouts division. And I think some of these other people are ones that TNA would push. The good thing with this is I think these women are all going to have a great match. And maybe Alicia Edwards changes my mind in the sense of, oh, okay, like, yeah, she could lead the division. But I think the person who wins this match is the one who's going to step up the biggest way
Yeah. Uh-huh.
with Deanna leaving.
Right.
And so I look at Tasha and Giselle Shaw as the two that could do it. Now, if TNA signs Zaya Brookside, which it hasn't been announced that they've signed her, but she's competing,
Right.
I would have no problem with her because I think her and Danny Luna, I've seen their work in NXT UK. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're good. This is fun. I don't think there's really a wrong prediction here, but that's why I want to say I think it should be Tasha Steelz. I think she should be, if you can't sign Mercedes Moné, if you can't sign Bailey and Charlotte, and you can't sign Tony Storm, and you can't sign some of those big names, this is an opportunity for where you can say, look, we have a great crop of talent. Now we got to present them as that big
Yep.
star.
Right.
Tasha is somebody who has been pushed in the past, but this would kind of like push her up further than I can imagine, So
Yeah.
my pick is Tasha Steelz, 2 times Tasha,
Okay.
and I think this is going to be a fun match. That's
Just
my pick.
just so everybody knows, I stand with. I'm cool with anybody winning this match. I really am.
As long
I'm
as they
just
all have fun.
right. Exactly. As long as you're in there having a good time, that's all that matters.
What's cool about Giselle Shaw is Giselle is a very talented
Yes.
individual,
Yes.
and I think like Jody Threat's very talented. All these ladies are talented, but I think what's going to be really really fun about this is okay, they're going to be good wrestlers. There's going to be some good spots. There's going to be some good moments.
Yeah.
I don't look at this particular booking as a situation to say, who is going to be the one that wrestles the best? I'm looking at this as a situation
Well,
of
you
like,
could tell Tasha Steelz. I see what you're talking about. She has the look of a star.
oh, they all have the
The look.
potential to be there. Yeah, they all
But
have the
really,
potential.
but really looking at her, you can kind of see where she stands out a little bit.
I think they all stand out in a very different way because the knockouts division isn't like WWE where it's like, oh, you have to be this.
Right.
It's you could
Right.
be this, this, and this, and we'll push this,
Push
this,
you.
and this.
Right. It doesn't matter necessarily what you look like or who you are.
Yes. To me,
Okay.
this is not so much about the match. I think the match will be fun. I think it'll be great. My point of view, though, is whoever wins this match is the one who's going to be stepping up in the limelight with Deanna gone, Trinity leaving, that type of thing. So
Right.
for me personally, I'm actually intrigued by this match a lot because if it's Giselle Shaw, it's not a bad decision. If it's Jody Threat, it's not a bad decision. If it's Zaya or Danny Luna, it's not a bad decision. If it's Tasha, it's not a bad decision. But I think it has to be Tasha. 2 times Tasha, make that a big deal.
Yep.
Push her, elevate her to the top of the card. The cool thing is all of these ladies can wrestle, and it's the second time that
The
they
match itself is going to be great.
and it's the Ultimate X match, and it's the second time it's ever happened in the women's division. So it's
Right.
like I think it'll be fun. The first one was awesome. This one will be awesome. And I love that they did something, by the way, with bringing in a talent who's not signed to the company, Zaya Brookside. You know, for a lot of people who didn't watch NXT UK or maybe they don't watch the UK Indies or anything like that, Zaya Brookside could go in there. Danny Luna could go in there and show people what they're actually capable of.
Yeah.
So I feel like whoever even loses this match still has a chance to show people why they should be watching them. And
Mhm.
that's something that doesn't necessarily happen all the time in wrestling. So this
Yeah.
is one of those things where it's like really a showcase, but it can help dictate the future of TNA.
Right. I agree.
The next match that we have, oh, I'm so excited for this one, Billy. It's a fatal 4-way tag team championship
Yes.
match.
Yes.
ABC, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin, the Bullet Club and TNA, versus the Rascals, which is Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, GYV, Zach Gibson and James Drake, versus Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. And this is a fatal 4-way TNA World Tag Team Championship match. And I love all the tag teams in this match. I love TNA and Impact, and I love their tag team division. But I feel like they've kind of dropped the ball with their tag team division. Not in the sense of booking. I don't think their booking has been bad at all. I think it's kind of been like WWE and AEW in the sense of they're not building up new teams.
Is it maybe it's not being showcased good enough right now?
Well, no, well, here's the thing. If you watch a tag team championship match in Impact, I think it's phenomenal. It's always good. They
Okay.
have Ace Austin and Chris Bay, who are phenomenal talent, but then also they have the Rascals, who are also phenomenal. But to me, for a minute, that kind of seems like that's what was gelling and keeping the tag team division together.
Right.
Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven being thrown together, it's a makeshift tag team. It is what it is.
Right.
But for me, this is a match I think a lot of people on the internet will be talking about. And I think what's really interesting here is it's the tag team championship match. GYV, nobody knows if they signed with the company.
Yeah, they never, because I seen the video and they never said that they did.
They just said they're coming in.
Right.
So, me personally, as much as I love Chris Bay and Ace Austin,
We
and
don't
as
believe
much as
ABC is keeping them belts.
I think they're dropping them, and as much as I love the Rascals, I don't think they're winning them back.
Mm,
I have to pick the grizzled young veterans here,
okay. All right.
and I need them to announce they've signed to TNA. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm being honest,
Yeah.
but I need them to announce they've signed. And if you really want this tag team division on fire, you
You
start
start
with them.
there.
Not to discredit ABC, not to discredit the Rascals. This is fresh. This is fresh paint on a new product, right? This is a new product, a new change. This match is going to slap. It is going to be insane how many GIFs I see on my Twitter timeline from this match. Trent Seven, Speedball Mike Bailey, ABC, the Rascals, all these guys have different styles and they're all going to complement each other very well. This
Yes.
is fun. This is a very hard match to predict because it's like you can have Chris Bay and Ace Austin hold it down for the new era, all this stuff. But those red strap TNA titles look sexy as hell, and they deserve to be on somebody who can help show people this is a new era.
Right.
Grizzled young veterans are those guys, in my opinion. And I only say yes to this if they've signed with the company. If they've not signed with the company, the Rascals or Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they could win. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say the exact same thing. And to touch on what you were talking about, I do like the idea of the Rascals winning if you're going to go the route of like, hey, we're as much as we're gonna go into a new era, can we do it somewhere else and maybe give these belts to a team like the Rascals coming up right now? You know what I'm saying? Really trying to make a shockwave, give
Yeah.
them focus on put their face in front of your TV screen, watch them more. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I do agree with you in the stance of, hey, if we're going for the new era, like this is not the same place that you thought it was, then we're gonna go for the grizzled young veterans. But me personally, I am gonna stick with the Rascals. I think that you can touch on the new face later on in the
Yeah.
show. But for now, I think you can kind of be like, hey, these are our guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm gonna stick with the Rascals.
And it's tough, right? Because you have outsiders coming in.
Yes.
So to me, that's always been an intriguing thing where it's like, do you give it to the new guys? But at the same time, too, a lot of returning eyes are coming to the product, a lot of new eyes. Um, I think that's something to definitely pay attention to. And, I don't think they can make a bad decision here. Honestly, I don't. This is like it's
No.
like the Ultimate X match. I don't think there's a wrong choice in this match. But at the same time, too, like if GYV, for example, is not signed with the company, do not give them the tag titles for a
No.
short period. That
Uh-uh.
is something that TNA would do in the past. Impact would do it in the
Right.
past, and I don't like that idea
Just to
because there
have
are,
somebody have the belt with a big name.
yeah, it's now if they're working for several months and it's like a part time. I don't want to say part time, but more of like a
We're gonna stick around for a little while, and then eventually we're
yeah.
gonna go off and do other things.
If that's the case, I'm okay with that. But I don't want this to be a thing where it's like they win at the pay per view and then literally the next day at the tapings they drop the belts.
No, I think TNA needs to get really hefty with their signings too. I think if we're gonna sign, let's sign. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I agree with that. But yeah, my pick is the grizzled young veterans. I hope they've signed. I think they should win. I think they'll look great with the red belts too.
Oh yeah.
But that's my pick. And then you
Yeah.
pick the Rascals.
I'm going with the Rascals because I think they would look good with the red straps.
Zach Wentz and Trey Miguel are so good.
And they're so fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Chris Bay and Ace Austin.
Another
Which,
fun team.
bro, there is a oh my god, I can't remember what year it was, but please go back and watch this on TNA Plus when Ace Austin had a storyline with Trey Miguel's mom. It is the funniest shit in the world. I think it was just
Yeah.
extra or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, it's the hot mom. Ace Austin likes hot moms, bro. It was just it was fun times, fun
That's
times.
funny. That's funny.
But looking at Ace Austin from back then and looking at Ace Austin now, and obviously I think part of it going to Japan with Chris Bay helped. But these guys, I think if you put Chris Bay, Ace Austin, and the Rascals with any of the top tag teams in AEW or WWE, they're going out there and having an absolute banger.
I
Whether it's
like
LAX,
yeah,
well, LAX isn't together anymore,
but I
but
know what you mean.
yeah, Proud and Powerful, whatever. And then obviously like FTR and the Usos or Judgment Day, New Day,
These guys could hang with the rest of them.
Private Party. You guys would see a million great matches with these
Yeah.
types of guys. So I like this match a lot. I think this is again, I said it before. This is the one where the GIFs just come out and people be
I'll be honest. Chris Bay and Ace Austin look the coolest.
their packaging is great, bro.
Yeah,
Their presentation is good. They found their confidence, and it's I mean, it shows. Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they come out and it's like, we know we're the shit. And
and I
that's why
love
you
that.
rock with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Next match. Ooh, this one's also gonna have all the GIFs on Twitter. This is crazy. Guys, Billy. I don't know how to predict this match, but I do. But I don't want to predict this match.
Okay. All right.
Chris Sabin versus Kushida versus El Hijo del Vikingo
Yep.
for the TNA X Division Championship. Now, I don't know if you know, Kushida did sign full-time with TNA.
Yes, I didn't.
That was announced.
Yes.
El Hijo del Vikingo, he has not signed full-time to TNA, but he has a chance to win the X Division Championship. It's not his first time in TNA. He's shown up in Impact before. This match is going to slap very hard. It is going to be, this match is going to come at you just like the Judge meme. You see the Judge meme on Twitter, the guy in court, he jumps at the Judge.
Over, yeah.
This match is going to jump at you like that. It's going to be
fast.
insane. My prediction is not going to be the favorite prediction, unfortunately. It's not going to be the prediction that people like.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you mine.
Let's hear it.
Mine's not going to be super in depth, but I'll tell you, he's actually, truth be told, he's still one of my favorites to this day. Like, I've always appreciated his work. And I'm talking about Chris Sabin. Yeah.
No.
Yes. I appreciate Chris Sabin. I appreciated the Motor City Machine Guns, obviously being a young, little Detroit kid. Yeah,
of course.
But I think I'm gonna stick with my guts here and go Chris Sabin. And I think again, you don't go away from the guys who put your company on the map. Not right now. Not when you have Vikingo, who hasn't signed with the company yet. And I will say Kushida's not a bad option. Kushida is not a bad option at all.
Yeah.
But I think, again, this is another one of those matches where it's hard to go away from what these guys put your company on the map for so many years.
Yeah.
So many years through the transition and everything along those lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even think they left, did they?
No. They did for a temporary period of time, but
didn't like jump, maybe went to Japan or something like that. But other than that,
Alex Shelley did find himself in WWE NXT at one point. Let me find that. That's fun. I remember that. Him and Kushida. I don't know how they made that happen either. That was 2020 during COVID.
Really?
I forgot how that happened. They came up on the Dusty Rhodes Classic, yeah. Because they made a big deal out of the Time Splitters thing. That's funny to me. I forgot all about that. He worked
because Alex Shelley was a person who I was like, and obviously he ended up back there, but I Impact for life, TNA for life. There's no leaving. But yeah, I'm gonna go with my guts here and go Chris Sabin.
Yeah. So let me just write down the timestamp because I'm gonna have to clip this. I already know.
All right, bro. Come on.
I get a really strong feeling. And I don't know how the wrestling fans will react to this, but I get a strong feeling that Chris Sabin's winning this match. And I get a very strong feeling that Chris Sabin is cashing in option C at the end of TNA Hard to Kill on Alex Shelley. And I can understand why this would be a potential possibility because of their rich history as Motor City Machine Guns. And obviously that would be a fun feud to watch. I don't agree that it should happen though. and I don't want to see Chris Sabin turn on Alex Shelley. But I'm starting to get the impression that this match is going to be Kushida, Chris Sabin, and Vikingo all going off, creating tons of moments that people will go crazy about. It's going to be fun to watch. It'll be everything that you would want out of a match. And then I think Chris Sabin pulls it off, but Chris Sabin does option C on Alex Shelley. And the reason why I don't want to see it, we talked a little bit earlier on the stream. It's like Steve Macklin, Rich Swann, former champions going up against each other on the Countdown show. They're bringing in Alexander Hammerstone, which we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But they're bringing Alexander Hammerstone. They have Josh Alexander. You have a ton of talent plus Moose. At the end of the day, I think the world championship picture, there is a lot more money with storylines, with potential storylines that are bigger and better than Sabin versus Alex Shelley. But I do really get the impression that Chris Sabin not only walks out of TNA Hard to Kill with the win of retaining this, but I think he walks out of the pay-per-view with the world championship.
And you think that's how they create? If you ask me, if you want to jump right into a really deep storyline,
Yeah.
it doesn't get any deeper than that. I mean, how many years? Almost what? 20 years almost?
I don't even know at this point, but a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah. I mean, so I think if you're going to jump right into the deep end and tell me a really good story and something that's going to attract fans instantly, because again, fans are very basic. Just
Yeah.
give me something good right in my face. I think Alex Shelley, I really like that take, Ango. I really
know,
like
but
that.
the problem that I don't like about it is that, and we'll talk about the world championship
Yeah.
later,
Yes.
but my problem is I look at Josh Alexander and I look at Hammerstone and I think, okay, well, who else are you bringing in? Are you bringing in Mustafa Ali or Dolph Ziggler or
Right.
Riddle or whoever it may be? If you're bringing in one of these really big names, like, is this the route that you really want to go for your world championship? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't doubt the ability to tell the story, but this is not something I would have done going into a new era of TNA 2024. Mainly because we talked about the TNA tag team division and the Rascals and ABC and all these great tag teams. I don't want Motor City Machine Guns to break up, bro. I want them to be putting on those tag team bangers against GYV. And that's
Right.
why I'm hoping my prediction is wrong. But unfortunately, you never know. But
Right.
I could see that very well being a
And you're a
realistic case.
consistent watcher of TNA. So is this or Impact right now, but
Yeah.
is there so they're playing into this is really what's happening.
No, they're not.
Oh, so this is just a hot take.
This is a hot take, hot prediction. This is me being reasonable based on being a fan of wrestling. I could see them going this route. And I don't want to see them go this route.
Okay. All right. We'll find out. We will find out, won't we?
Yeah. I will say, if I had it my way, if I was booking this, Kushida's full-time with the company. Kushida should be the X Division champion.
Yeah. That's why I said I really do like the option of Kushida.
And what I do like about Kushida is he fell short when it came to the TNA World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
They ran the storyline in the past year with him trying to go for it. So what I like about Kushida is using the X Division Championship belt to eventually use option C and cash in on somebody. If they want to push Kushida as one of the top guys in the company.
Yep.
So I like that. El Hijo del Vikingo, he's there. He's just gonna do some crazy stuff.
And it's gonna be fun to watch him.
It's the TNA X Division, man. You're putting the X Division back on the map with this match. So it'll be fun no matter what, but hopefully they get it right. And whatever they do, let's just say they do my theory. I just hope it's laid out with actual proper planning. I don't want them to screw themselves by doing this. I don't know if that's the big money feud, Sabin and Shelley. Again, I think there's a lot of great stuff happening with the tag teams.
Yeah, I think it goes down to what I had brought up earlier about the idea of, okay, are we going to stick to our guns and still be the same TNA that we were, or are we going to absolutely change a lot of our product and be completely different from what we were? So I think there's going to be a fine line, and we're going to see it on the show. If you maybe Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin isn't as deep as we think it is. Maybe if they do the storyline, it doesn't become as deep as it is. Maybe, Alex Shelley loses the belt a month down the line to somebody big and they move on with a new part of the title picture and let them feud over maybe the X Division title or something like that.
Yeah. Guys, I want to take a quick break. I'm going to actually just load the video onto the stream. You are going to see in real time my reaction to the new TNA Knockouts Championship. Billy, don't look, don't look, don't
I
look.
got my eyes
I
shut.
don't
I got
I
my
don't
eyes.
want anybody spoiling this for me. I'm gonna throw it up here. I didn't even watch the video. I just clicked on the link. We're gonna download the video and put it on here. So let's do that. But my pick was Chris Sabin, and your pick was Chris Sabin as well.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yours was a more in-depth version of Chris Sabin.
Yeah. So I want to take a break while we're live. I feel like this would be a good time to do this. I really do think it would be a good time. And let's see.
What we got going on here?
How do I video clips? Okay. Add video clip. All right, guys, it's uploading right now into the software. We're going to take a look at this. I'm not even looking at the chat because I don't trust anybody.
I don't trust anybody.
I think my prediction is coming true, but let's take a look. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! What the fuck?
The white strap, bro. The white
Holy shit! Oh my god! Wow!
She looks beautiful with that belt. I just want to say it.
What the fuck? What the fuck has this company done, dude? This company has the sexiest championship belts in all of wrestling. Oh my god, bro. This is fucking crazy. This is fucking nuts. This belt is
Ooh.
so sexy. I don't know if there's a way. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Fuck it, whatever. Can we just look at that one more time? Nah, bro, that shit's fire. I don't care what anybody says. That shit is so fire.
That is a beautiful belt.
That is a sexy ass belt, and low key, as much as I love the tag titles and the digital media championship and the men's world championship, they have the sexiest championship belt in the knockouts division.
I got goosebumps, bro.
Dog, that shit is crazy. I am not trying to mark out, but fuck. This is a company where I went from doubting what their new titles could look like to now beating WWE and AEW for the best belt in wrestling.
Yes, they are completely destroying both of those companies when it comes to the way of the belt design.
Crazy. I expected a white strap. I did expect a white strap.
I didn't. I thought they were going to continue on with the black strap, if you want me to be honest.
I thought they would go with the white strap, and the cool thing is that belt looks so sexy. Holy shit, I cannot believe it. I'm genuinely shocked. I get nervous with belt reveals, and like AEW and WWE have good looking belts, but these belts are consistent across the board. Phenomenal stuff.
Beautiful stuff.
So now obviously, you know, we got the new women's championship. So let's just jump into it, Billy.
Yeah.
Trinity Fatu versus Jordan Grace, TNA Knockouts World Championship belt. What's your pick?
Jordan Grace.
It is Jordan Grace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually disagree.
I kind of figured you did. I don't know, because we haven't talked or been too in depth about a partnership with the WWE. It's questionable. Give me Jordan Grace in this match. Obviously, Jordan Grace has been great for TNA. Although I love the idea of Trinity holding that belt and there being like a real partnership with the WWE.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I would love it, but I'm gonna go Jordan Grace here. What are you thinking?
I'm picking Trinity Fatu.
Okay.
Trinity Fatu will work the tapings. And I get a very strong feeling that the visual of Trinity holding this belt, this new belt, it just makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay. All right.
They have the visual
wise.
And I think they have Trinity either drop it at the tapings or Trinity shows up in WWE with the Knockouts Championship and WWE announces a partnership with TNA. Sounds a little bit crazy, but that could be really fun. But I do want to point this out.
Okay.
Let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say there's no partnership, whatever. Forget about that, all that extra noise, fun little fantasy booking thing. Trinity Fatu walking out with the championship belt is really good for business. And Tasha Steelz winning the Ultimate X match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they go that route of Tasha and Trinity at the tapings, or she, you know, gets her match with Trinity. I think Trinity wins at the pay-per-view, drops it at the tapings. or if Trinity works TNA and WWE in some capacity, because she's technically working TNA until the end of the month, which they have tapings. I want to say it's either in Florida or New Orleans.
Okay.
But they'll have another set of tapings at the end of the month too, which she could drop it. I don't know exactly the route that they go, but this belt is so absolutely sexy. I feel like
that belt is gorgeous, dude.
yeah, I think I could see it would not be a bad idea to have Tasha cash in on her.
You kind of like immediately after or during the tapings?
You could do it during the tapings or you could do it immediately after, man. But the
Yeah.
thing is, what I love so much about this match is Jordynne Grace is a phenomenal competitor. And Jordynne Grace is, first of all, when I watch her on TNA and the way she's been presented, she's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if you want to put the belt on Jordynne Grace, that's easy. I think a lot of people look at this as an easy prediction. I think TNA still has enough time before Trinity walks out where
to keep the belt on her.
To keep the belt on her and do something else with it. So I think, like I said, Tasha Steelz wins the Ultimate X match 2 times. Tasha, she takes advantage and this catapults her to the next level.
Now, I want to ask, I know you have your list pulled up there of all the matches and stuff like that. Is the announcement on there?
It's not. So we'll get to the announcement after the card. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Definitely some possibilities with that.
Right. Absolutely.
Which we'll get into. But yeah, my opinion, Trinity Fatu wins. And what a sexy ass belt. Shout out to TNA.
Beautiful stuff.
Round of applause for them. Because that's a very genuine mark out moment.
Like, Scott D'Amore looks so happy handing these over too.
Man. It's fucking crazy. I swear to God, dude. It's like it's just because anybody who knows me knows that I'm very, 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 very judgmental on belts. Like, I love the WWE United States Championship, and the Intercontinental Championship isn't bad. Like, it works with Gunther.
Right.
Like, we've seen so many different belt designs in wrestling where it's like, I feel like every company could kind of improve. Like, I like the Women's Championship in AEW. I love the Continental Crown Championship, the International Championship. Like, I think those are sexy, but I see different areas of improvement for AEW as well. And I actually said, it was so funny. I said the best wrestling company with the most consistent title belts was DPW. I felt like Deadlock from bottom to the top was the best.
Yeah.
And that answer changes. I think TNA now 5 for 5 on belt reveals.
Taking the cake here.
Fucking so good, bro. So
absolutely.
good.
Absolutely.
So good. But yeah, my pick is Trinity Fatu walks out with the belt. And then she drops it either at the tapings or Tasha Steelz cashes in immediately after.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah. The next match that we have on the list, my friend, Josh Alexander versus the debuting Alex Hammerstone, formerly of MLW. This is so hard to predict because I love Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander is going up against Will Ospreay for the second time at TNA Snake Eyes, the tapings the following after, the day after. Alex Hammerstone is making his debut. I cannot see how Alexander Hammerstone loses this match.
Yeah, I think Alexander Hammerstone actually wins the match just because of the idea that Josh Alexander is going to face Will Ospreay right after. I think Josh Alexander can take a loss here. Is that bad?
No, he could.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he could. In my opinion, this is where it gets a little complicated. Hammerstone coming in and then losing, I think, is dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I also think Josh Alexander is TNA's Roman Reigns or AEW's Kenny Omega, right? Like, I think he's their top guy. He's come a long way from tag teaming with Ethan Page to now being the top guy.
You put over
Alex. Dude, this has a lot of potential to be a fun match. Both guys I think are great. Alex Hammerstone needs to win this match. And then, I said we're going to talk about that world championship picture. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. But Hammerstone needs to win this match. And I will tell you guys how I think they should start booking the world title picture after we predict the main event. But my pick is Alexander Hammerstone.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hammerstone too. I think he's the guy here.
Cool. So then we get to our main event. Alex Shelley versus Moose for the TNA World Championship. Now, I predicted that Chris Sabin would use option C on Alex Shelley, and I said I don't want that to happen.
Yes.
Okay. 3 months ago when TNA was announced as returning, I said, perfect. They need to start pushing Moose as the top guy for the brand. Okay. There's guys in TNA that I look at. I look at Moose. I look at Steve Macklin. I look at Josh Alexander. And I look at some of the talent there and I say, these are guys that you could build your world title picture around.
Yes.
I would love nothing more than for Moose to beat Alex Shelley. I would love nothing more for that to happen because I want Moose to be the guy leading the company as world champion.
And you want to see, because you could still do something with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, I feel like, and just have like a natural turn without
Nope.
and let that.
Nope. They
I
go
know
tag
you
team
want
together.
I know you want them to be a tag team together, but I think you also can tell a really good story there with those two.
If you want to
Regardless
do
of
that
the fact,
feud, you can get there without having to do option C.
that's what I'm saying. Is I think
Yeah.
you can get there without option C.
Now, personally speaking, Moose should win this match. He's a very credible champion. He did a lot of great stuff when he brought back the TNA World Championship when they also had the Impact World
Yes,
Championship.
yes, I remember that.
Moose carries himself well. He's a very good talent. He has the aura, the presentation
Of a top guy.
of the top guy. I want them to build the top of the card with Moose, Alexander Hammerstone, Steve Macklin, no doubt. Then when I look at the X division, I want them to build the X division around Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Kushida, Rich Swann, Leon. Oh my God, why am I thinking? It's gonna kill me. Leon Slater. Jeez, Leon Slater, the new signing from the UK Indies.
Yes.
I want them to build the X division around those guys. Now, earlier in the show, I said Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian.
Yes.
There's some guys who I feel like they can also step up and get that world championship. Eddie Edwards. What I would do is actually simplify this. Build your X division with these guys first. So Kazarian, X division. Eddie Edwards back in the X division.
Eric Young, same thing.
Rich Swann, let him be the guy that's the face of the X division. Let these guys do it. Then use the X division as your launching pad to the world title.
Right.
That's how they used to do it in the past. That's how they should
continue with
do
the
it.
option C stuff. I think that's a good
100%.
idea. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Moose needs to 1000%. He needs to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay. All right.
He has to.
So you're going with Moose?
Yes. But I'm going with Moose, hoping that my prediction about Chris Sabin using option C on Shelley doesn't come true.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Moose here too. I think he is your top guy. I think he looks good. I've seen him with the Impact World Championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know how it looks as him with, while he's being the world champion. I know what that looks like, and I know what it could do moving forward. Now, I know we talked about an announcement that's coming up, and I do want to kind of touch on that.
Yeah.
Because I do want to kind of play off of this into that.
Yes.
And I know on yesterday's stream, obviously I had predicted that Sasha would be that was my prediction, right?
Yeah.
But also a little part of me is like, okay, well, if you want to continue and make this company new, right?
Yeah.
I think branding it as the biggest signing is a little tough, right?
Yeah.
But looking at some of these guys now, you could bring in, because I know Dolph Ziggler's doing stuff over with NJPW and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
I think if you want to bridge the gap,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm so
no,
sorry.
no. You're good. Go ahead. It was lagging for a second, so.
Okay. I think if you want to bridge the gap,
yeah,
between like something really big and really making an impact, no pun intended, Dolph Ziggler or a Matt Riddle, or a Mustafa Ali. I know these are all like WWE guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But looking at what they've done, Elijah too, formerly Elias.
Yeah.
Looking at the way they've presented themselves already, just like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tells me, okay, these guys can go be, especially Dolph Ziggler. I really think I'm going to go with my gut here and say that there's a possibility that Dolph Ziggler could be the quote unquote biggest signing. Although, okay, all right.
Not to cut you off, it's just I think Dolph Ziggler. So let me make this clear. It's not out of the realm because New Japan and TNA work together.
No, right,
They have a
exactly.
really good relationship. It
Yes.
works very well. Okada's showing up at
For
TNA
Snake
tapings.
Eyes. He's gonna
Yeah,
be at Snake Eyes, right?
yeah. I think if you're TNA, the way to do this is you have Shelly versus Moose. Whoever wins, it doesn't matter who wins. Let's say it's Shelly, let's say it's Moose. Whoever wins, doesn't matter. Forget about the X Division option C for a second.
Yeah.
You end the show with the top free agent face to face with the
With the
champion.
champion. Right. Okay.
And I think if it's Alex Shelley and you put Mustafa Ali and Alex Shelley together in the ring, it's just pure magic, right?
Mhm.
If you bring in Riddle, Dolph Ziggler, Elias, I think there's got to be a certain aura with the way that they're presented in that scenario to stand toe to toe with Moose.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ango.
Yeah.
I'm so in the dark
Yeah.
about who this person is gonna be.
I do believe Elijah shows up in TNA.
So do I.
I don't think he is the big signing though.
No, I don't think that's how you brand the biggest signing. You know
So
what I mean?
here's the thing. I got to go back and look at Scott Demore's verbiage on who this big signing, how he presented
Yes,
it.
yes, because it's been what, like 2 weeks since they announced that?
So let me read this word for word. Scott Demore said, quote unquote, on Busted Open Radio, we're going to have some surprises for you, some unexpected things, including guys we are right there at the goal line of finalizing of. I think the biggest signings in TNA. I think it's something that's really going to shake things up here on January 13th. So he's not specifically saying it is the biggest signing in company
Okay,
history.
alright,
However, really quick, the TNA graphic says worlds will collide on January
yes,
13th. You won't believe who is showing up. So we got to make it very clear. It's not the biggest
biggest
signing in
signing,
company
right.
history, but it's a I think one of the biggest signings in TNA.
Okay, alright. I mean,
Interesting.
if you're gonna brand it that way, then yeah, why not do a Dolph Ziggler?
I don't know. I know Matt Riddle has a tag team match at Battle of the Valley, which is the same night. So Matt Riddle can't be there.
Yes, uh-huh.
Dolph Ziggler's got something cooking with David Finlay.
Right over in NJPW.
This is it's got to be Mustafa Ali, man. I hope it is. I think
Mustafa
Mustafa.
Ali branded himself very well right out the gate. You made a tweet. You made a tweet that I was like, I like that. All of them being in the tuxedos and stuff like that. And kind of, I was like, yo, I'm not saying it could work. It could work.
It would be fun. Who knows? So here's the thing, right? I do fully expect multiple surprises here on the show. So here's the cool thing. Like Elias could come in as Elijah and come to TNA. He doesn't even have to be the big signing, right?
No. Mm-mm.
This is the cool thing about wrestling. TNA is we're going to see surprises. I think
Yeah.
two things we can expect. I think TNA will announce something major on the show. I predict that there will be a major announcement by TNA. Has nothing to do with signings. It could be TV deal stuff. It could be pay-per-view announcement. It
Okay.
could be something, but I fully expect them to have a big announcement on this pay-per-view. That's first and foremost. Second thing is I do expect more than one debut. One will be not as random, maybe random, but maybe not as like prominent as the big signing.
Yeah.
And then I think they end the show with whoever's coming in as the big signing will end the show face to face with the champion. And I think that could be really fantastic because when I was talking about the world championship, right? Alexander, Hammerstone,
Yep.
Steve Macklin, like there's a plethora of guys, Josh Alexander, whoever the big signing is, like they're immediately at the top.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It makes for a much more enjoyable world title picture.
Right. Absolutely. I agree.
And
I
I'm
agree
gonna just
with
throw
that.
this out there. After seeing that new TNA World Championship belt, I think it would look great with Moose, and I think it would look great with Mustafa Ali. So
Yeah, Mustafa Ali.
it has to be Mustafa. I'd be so happy. I do not want to see Mustafa Ali in AEW. I do not want to see it. I do not want to see this guy who struggled to get TV time in WWE and struggled to get a massive push just go to AEW and be another fucking guy. That's
really
not what I
like
want
that
to see.
pick.
I want to see Mustafa Ali be the guy, and he could do it in TNA. I would love nothing more than to see it. I think what was very transcendent for Drew McIntyre was when he went to TNA and became Drew Galloway. When we saw Zack Ryder become Matt Cardona and show up in TNA, when we've seen all of these different things, Mustafa Ali needs to be the guy that goes there. He has the aura. He has the mic skills. He has the character. He has the wrestling skills. This guy is a fucking complete package. Mustafa Ali and TNA, or we riot.
I like it. I'm not against it.
Barker Lewis Can't Chew dropped a $4.99 super chat, Billy. He says, what if MJF is the new signee in TNA? He would still be signed to AEW in real life, but the storyline is he is done with AEW and signed with TNA. And I'm not going to lie to you, Billy, I swear to God, at first, I fucking hated this idea. But if you really want to work people,
I mean, it
this
goes
is
back
Worlds
to
Collide.
It goes back to what you said before about Tony Khan possibly becoming the devil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It kind of plays into that. Now it's not Tony Khan becoming the devil. Now it's MJF being like, well, I don't need none of them. Watch this.
He's actually hurt. I know that's been a report.
His shoulder is really messed up.
I don't think that's a work. I think that's legit.
Yeah, there's potential of him possibly being out for upwards to like a year that people were saying.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, for all intents and purposes, this probably isn't realistic. And as much as I would want to hate this idea, it would be fucking fun. It would be great for TNA to be working with AEW in this case. It would be good. I would personally enjoy it. I would not hate it.
No, that would add a lot of depth to AEW, in my personal opinion.
It's got to be Mustafa Ali. I don't care what anybody says. Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali or nothing.
Mustafa Ali versus Okada on Snake Eyes. Okay. Can you imagine? Like, how sick would that be?
Fire.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's a fascinating time period, and all the years that I've covered wrestling, and more specifically Impact TNA, it's fascinating that we're getting to the point where we can drum up major conversations like this, because that's how crazy wrestling is right now.
It is so hot all the way around.
It hasn't been like this in a very long time. And I appreciate the fact that it's like that. But my predictions was we get multiple debuts and we get a major announcement from TNA, whether it's a new pay-per-view or a working relationship.
I'm hoping it has some. I'm hoping it's if they're going and your prediction is correct, I'm hoping it's going to be some of the TV deal stuff.
Who knows? Who knows? That's what makes it fun, though. There's a lot of things. But I do predict Elijah shows up in TNA, and I think we get one more debut at the very latest, or at the very least. And I'm hoping and praying it's Mustafa Ali. That's my hope.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I got TNA Plus. I can watch it on TNA Plus now, can I? They're going to be doing the weekly shows live on TNA Plus.
So from my understanding, it's going to be delayed to 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay.
So you'll watch it first on Access TV at 8:30. If you pay $1 a month on YouTube, they'll give you a 30-minute delay. So you could watch it starting at 8:30, or you could watch it at 10 p.m. following on the TNA Plus.
Okay,
app.
but I can almost watch it kind of like immediately after.
Yeah, I know for myself, like I have access to Access TV. So I'll be watching it live.
Mm-hmm.
I will be watching Hard to Kill live as well.
Yes, so will I.
It's going to be worth it. I'm excited about it, man.
I am going to purchase the premium live event, not the pay-per-view, the premium live event.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our predictions. Very fun.
Come back to this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I believe we can almost say that we'll be live for Hard to Kill.
Yeah. I'm for sure being live, Billy. If you can't make it, you can't make it. But buddy, I'm going to talk about it.
Oh no, brother. I'll be here.
Super exciting stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Love it, love it. Guys, a new TNA belt looks sexy. Love it, man. Guys, that concludes our prediction show. Billy on YouTube at BillyTKO. If you're not subscribed to Billy, you should probably go and subscribe to Billy.
Doing cool stuff over there too, man.
Yeah, what a time. What a time to be alive.
What a time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all stopping by. Easy peasy. TNA Hard to Kill. Saturday, 8 o'clock, live from Las Vegas, Palms Casino. Yeah. I'll be watching, and I'll definitely review it as well. So I'll see you all, my friends.